here it is at last, the Helios Tarot forecast for the month, or Tarot Horoscope drawn specifically for your astrological zodiac sign. I'm B.R. Newman, in case you didn't know that already. Check out my website, iamhelios.com, through the link below, and consider everything that I have to offer there. Consider signing up to receive any number of the personal readings that I offer, or consider signing up to take a course. The choice is yours. There's a lot to explore there. Also consider checking out Annie Botticelli's Storyteller forecasts to see the astrological side of everything you're going to see here. It's fascinating, I promise. So, okay, I guess we'll just jump right into it. And here it is, Virgo, your 5-card tarot spread for the month of December. Now this, being a Helios spread, is a kind of condensed Golden Dawn spread which uses 15 cards. In this case, we have 5 to a similar effect, to a similar result. We have a central theme, 2-dimensional timeline options to choose from, past section, and a fate section. In your central theme, or that which most adequately embodies the whole story arc of this entire tarot spread, is the Ace of Discs. So the Ace of Discs represents the primordial essence of Earth, or all things pertaining to physicality, health, wealth, finances, resources, everything in between. So we have therefore revealed the subject of this tarot spread. It makes it rather easy when we have one of these ace cards in the central theme, this primordial essence of each respective element, really simplifying things. So it's likely that something needs to be looked at a little more closely, regarding your finances, your resources, your health. I mean, anything from the cells in your body and the lifestyle that supports them, or the roof over your head, or the money in your bank account, anything like that. So this is a general read applying to everyone who shares your sun sign, so there's only so much I can offer in terms of specificity, so it'll actually be up to you to do the necessary reflections to derive the specifics you require to make something of this. So you can address this situation according to these 2-dimensional timelines, these 2 choices. On the one hand, you have the Prince of Cups, which is a personality profile. You may or may not be aware of this. All of these 16 court cards correspond beautifully, flawlessly with the Myers-Briggs personality profiles, of which there are 16. So conveniently. And so this Prince of Cups corresponds with the ENFP, or the Extroverted Intuitive Feeling Perceiver. This is someone creative, someone who's seeking harmony, the life of the party, someone who more starts things than finishes things, but they're very optimistic, very idealistic in a way, but they're extroverted, so they have some hand in actualization. They're not merely conceptual. They don't simply sit back and run simulations in their mind. They like to act out these possibilities. So this, therefore, would be the approach of this left-hand dimensional timeline. So this is a path of not worrying, through which you're open to creative solutions, but you're not really modifying anything in terms of your approach. So that then, when juxtaposed with the alternative dimensional timeline, becomes especially true, since the Lovers does often, it embodies the process of embracing some kind of opposite form. So by trying something perhaps drastically new and different, the Lovers card would come about as, relative to the central theme, perhaps doing the thing that you've never done, so as to prevent any stagnation or problematic situations from arising. Regarding your finances, you want everything to be free-flowing. Or regarding your health, you want everything to be moving and operating sufficiently. You want to have optimum energy when you wake up in the morning, and you want to sleep well. You want everything to be digesting properly, and so on. So at that deeply personal level, the Lover's card would be about seeking another opinion, getting, someone's advice, integrating someone else's perspectives and the wisdom that they are offering you into your own life, and then implementing those. Developing strategies according to a different perspective, right? So that's broadening your horizons, broadening your capacity to understand the situation by integrating, a perhaps opposite perspective. And so this would involve seeking out an opposite perspective, and therefore implying the willingness to accept and embrace that opposite perspective. And that may in fact be what is necessary here, especially since we have in your fate section the Knight of Wands, which does certainly take things quite seriously in a very commanding way, rather unlike the Prince of Cups. So in preparation for this Knight of Wands, it may not be appropriate to pursue this Prince of Cups personality profile, which wouldn't necessarily be capable of meeting the demands of the Knight of Wands, which is not to undermine the natural capabilities that the Prince of Cups has as an immensely creative force, but rather, in order to avoid a problematic situation, you really want to prepare for the nature of the situation. If there's a forest fire tearing through your neighborhood, you don't want to start preparing for a snowstorm. Though some of the preparations may in fact end up aiding you or assisting you, it would be completely random. You want to prepare for the conditions that are just over the horizon. So the Knight of Wands being a very commanding force, you want to perhaps become a little more commanding, become a little more assertive, a little more active, and considering the nature of your past section, the Ten of Discs, that implies somewhat of a stagnation. So the Ten of Discs is the primordial essence of Earth as fully actualized in the world. It's associated with Malkuth, Spherith number 10, which is the kingdom, the realm, the world, all actualized potentials. It's the karmic result of having dealt with each respective element. And in this case, this is Earth, so this is inner and outer wealth, infinite resources and all of that, but total security. So that's a kind of a paradigm where or a paradigm through which you have to sacrifice freedom for the sake of security. You know, the wealth becomes so immense that it gains a kind of consciousness, a kind of control over you. You become afraid to lose it, afraid to spend it, afraid to use it, and it kind of weighs you down, you know, like a mansion prison cell. Very stagnant, very blocked, very trapped. So it's time to become much more active, and that's why the Knight of Wands is coming forward in your fate section, that an opportunity is there on the horizon to be much more assertive, to be much more commanding and effective in the world. So to do so, you have to do things quite differently from the way that you have. So with the Ace of Discs in your central theme, of course, that confirms that you are currently still within that realm defined by the Ten of Discs in your past section, since the Earth element remains, right? So the Lover's card would be something drastically opposite to that. So fire would be an appropriate thing to engage. Water, not so much. Water being feminine, earth being feminine. We can think of this in terms of yin and yang. Water and earth being yin, and fire and air being yang. You have there the Lover's card associated with Gemini, air, and the Knight of Wands, fire. So you have air and fire on the right-hand dimensional timeline, and in your fate section, it is what is coming, so therefore you want to prepare for what is coming by filling yourself up with enough air, enough fuel to feed that fire and to make that your fire, to control it yourself rather than it being a raging inferno out of your control. So you want to start familiarizing yourself with an element that will actually assist you in consciously directing that. Not in repressing it, not in necessarily taming it, but rather using it as fuel, because you want to get out of this immensely sticky and heavy Ten of Discs situation in whatever way that surfaces, in whatever aspect of your physicality it's manifesting, whether that's your health or your wealth or anywhere in between. This Knight of Wands in your fate section is the ENTJ, the extroverted, intuitive thinking judger, a natural leader, commanding force, visionary, someone who can take charge, who can see a project through. So there's a great deal of active strength in the ENTJ, and that's an opportunity that's coming your way like a train. You can hop on, or you can let it pass you by. It doesn't mean the opportunity won't return. If you're in a sticky situation, you need to get out of it. But there is a risk of delaying your admission. And that about wraps this up, so thank you for listening to this. You might want to contact me for a personal reading of some kind. You can gain clarity, certainty, and confidence regarding a big decision, the nature of a personal relationship, family dynamics, general complications or opportunities, and so on. I can help you simplify extremely complex matters into something workable, something you can base otherwise difficult decisions upon, and something you can trust, so you can put your mind at ease and get back to living. And maybe you want to uncover the complexities of your inner circuitry, really getting to know the way you truly operate, so you can pick and choose the kinds of strategies, partners, and environments that help you thrive and feel good and think straight. If any of that sounds good, trust me, you're going to want to check out my website, IamHelios.com, and discover what I can offer you there today. Thanks again.